True story. Single mom and her little boy sharing a bowl of cereal on a rainy day in October before school. They're sitting in the kitchen and rain's pouring outside and they're finishing up their cereal, and this little boy, he is this mama's entire world. Every decision she makes in her professional and personal life, she weighs how it's going to impact her little man. Well, she checks the time. She goes, oh my gosh, we're going to be late. Quick, run upstairs, brush your teeth. I'll grab your book bag. Meet me in the car. I'll drive you to the bus stop since it's raining. He goes running upstairs. She waits. She listens for the water to turn on, to make sure he actually did it, right? She grabs his book bag. She hops in the car. He comes running down. He hops in. They drive to the bus stop. And since it's a rainy day, they get there, even though they were feeling like they were running late, they had some time to spare because the bus is also running late, as it normally is on a rainy day. Every single stop takes about 30 seconds to a minute longer. Kids getting out of cars, umbrellas. There's just more going on a rainy day, right? So they're sitting in the car waiting, and the splisher splashers are going. That's what he calls the windshield wipers. And he's telling his mom about a dream he had about some monsters. And they're chatting, and finally the bus pulls up, and she looks at him, and she says, "Goodbye, little buddy. I love you." And he said, "Bye, Mommy. I love you too." And he hopped out of the car. He went running to the bus, barely made it up those 3 almost 2 big steps, right? Gets in, turns the corner, runs down the aisle, jumps into a seat, presses his face up against a window, and waves goodbye to his mom. She laughs and she waves goodbye too. And the bus pulls off. Mom turns her car around, heads back to the house. She thinks, sweet, school, you're it. I got to get back to the house. I got to finish getting myself ready, clean up the kitchen real quick, gather my things, and head on to work. So she heads home to do all of that. Meanwhile, the bus has continued on to its next stop, taken a turn to another stop, a right to another stop, up and over a hill, down to another stop, a left to another stop. It is just moving through the route. Well, several stops later, little boy walks up to the bus driver and he says, "Excuse me, sir. I just got sick in my seat." Which bus driver thinks, great. Now I gotta clean up some puke on an already lousy rainy day. And he looked at the little boy and he said, "Then you need to go home." And he opened the door to the bus. My words, essentially kicking the little boy off the bus. Meanwhile, there's another mother standing on the front stoop of her house under an umbrella holding a cup of coffee. She watched the bus roll up. She watched the door open. She watched her daughter get in. She watched the doors close, and the bus didn't drive away. That's odd. Then the door opens. A little boy that she's never seen before steps off the bus. The doors close and the bus drives away. Little boy, standing in the pouring rain, watches the bus drive away, looks backwards, looks all around, lowers his head and his shoulders, and starts walking in the opposite direction that the bus went. Mom standing on the front porch going, this is not right. This is not right. Alarm bells are starting to go off in this mother, right? I'm sure they would for you too. Something is off. Something is not right. And she goes, I'm following him. I am following him. And she starts following him. And she's keeping a little bit of a pace behind him, and she's walking. She can only stand it for about 2 minutes because as the bus gets further and further away and the sound of it gets quieter and quieter, all she can hear is the rain hitting her umbrella and the sobs of the little boy a few feet in front of her. Finally, she goes, hey, hello? Hi, little guy. He stops, he turns around, and she goes, are you okay? And immediately, I don't know where I am. She runs up to him, gets him under the umbrella. She says, it's okay, I can help you. Here, I've got my phone. Let me call your mom. What's her number? I don't know her number. That's okay. I have a map on my phone. How cool is that? Do you know where you live? I don't remember. He's coming unglued. The tears are just streaming more and more and more. She's going, okay, I am making this worse. He is freaking out. Finally, she convinces him to come back with her and get into her car. They get into her car and she starts driving what she thinks the bus route might be. I'll turn here. I mean, she's guessing. She's guessing as she's driving around, turning on streets. Do you see anything you recognize? Tell me if you see anything that you recognize or that you know. And she's guessing. Finally, they come up over a hill and he goes, hey, that's my street. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Yes. She turns onto his street. Well, meanwhile, his mother had gone back to the house, cleaned up the kitchen, gotten herself ready, slapped some makeup on, got her things, got in the car, and she's pulled out and she's driving up the street. And little boy goes, hey, that's my mom's car. Well, immediately, the mother who's driving him does a psycho woman, fast and furious Italian job type driving move and spins her car, blocking the road to block this mother from driving her car away. Well, meanwhile, here's mom of little boy driving along, headed to work, when all of a sudden she sees a psycho woman do a fast and furious car maneuver in front of her, and she sees her entire world sitting in the car with psycho woman driving it. Both cars stop, both moms hop out. Mom of little boy is ready to fight, right? Like, what is going on? Other mom knows how this looks and jumps out with her hands in the air and very quickly begins to explain what she saw happen at the bus stop in front of her house. Can you imagine the gratefulness in the little boy's mom's heart listening to this mama talk to him? You better believe it. They exchange numbers, they get him out of the car. She feels his forehead. Of course, he's burning up with fever. She's beating herself up for missing it before he left for school. Parent guilt is real, isn't it? Absolutely. She's beating herself up. How did I miss it? How did I not notice? She gets him in the car. She gets him home. She gets him some children's Tylenol, changed out of his wet clothes into some clean, warm pajamas, tucks him into bed, gives him a kiss, walks out of his room, shuts the door, and heads back downstairs to where her phone is sitting on the kitchen table. Who do you think she's calling? She's calling the school, baby. You better believe it. She gets downstairs, she picks up that phone, she calls the school. Front office lady answers it. Mama explains what happened to her little boy, to her entire world, that the school is responsible for once he gets on that bus. And the front office lady responds, that's not my job. Call transportation. Click. How you feeling now, Mama? How you feeling now, Mama? Woo! Ready to fight. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, did she call transportation next? No. Did she call the principal? No. Did she call the superintendent or the board of education? No. Did she call her lawyer? No. She called into, I kid you not, downtown Atlanta, WSB, talk radio, and was immediately put onto the air on the number 2 most listened to show in the country where to a national audience, she was able to spew her venom. And the rest of the day, the host of that show called an audible, and it was an open phone lines day, and everyone from all over the country called in to air out their grievances with public education, all because two people forgot about the tool of empathy.
I love telling that story. While it's over 20 years ago, it's still relevant today. We live in a world that is just starved for empathy. I mean, why does it feel like empathy is in decline and that just a little bit of it would go a really long ways? Well, there's research out there by Harvard, the APA, and others that tells us, honestly, what we already know. And that's that we think about ourselves a lot. And by a lot, I mean like all the time. We think about ourselves, which immediately brings 2 points to my mind. Number one, that is very comforting. That is just nice being reminded that others aren't thinking about me as much as I think they are, which is a good reminder that I need to stop being so hard on myself and so critical of myself. And I need to extend me a little bit of grace, because no one's thinking about me and being as hard on me as I am. They're all too busy thinking about themselves. Which brings me to point number two. If everyone is so busy thinking about themselves, this is why just a little bit of empathy can go such a long ways. Now, empathy is a tool that we all have in our toolbox. But with how often we think about ourselves, it's a tool that can easily be neglected, and it requires practice on our parts so that we can use it and use it well. It's going against the grain a little bit of our natural wiring because, again, we think about ourselves all the time. I love how author Mark Batterson puts it. He says there's two types of people in the world. There's here I am types of people and there you are. So here's the picture. You walk into a room full of friends or people or colleagues, whatever. You walk into a room full of people. For the here I am people, when they walk into that room, their first thought is, well, here I am. Everyone's thinking about me. Everyone's looking at me. What are they thinking about me? They're just focused on themselves. The second kind of person, the there you are type of person, is someone who when they walk into the same room, they check their ego at the door. And their first thought in their minds is, there you are. Now, I think we're all capable of being either person. And I lean naturally, and maybe you do too, but I lean naturally to being the here I am kind of person. And so a way for me and you to combat that is when I walk into a room, when you walk into a room, maybe the first thought is, here I am, and how can I serve you? How can I focus on you? Empathy requires me to think about myself less and be more present with you. And it's something we could all use a little bit more of.